track on CD from Japan, and it cost me a small fortune as a high schooler, but it was totally worth it. My tongue feels like a cactus. Hi, my name is James. This is James Loves Games, and today I'm going to be talking about my top 10 favorite games of all time while eating super spicy hot wings. And by hot wings, I mean chicken nuggets. So recently, I've been kind of obsessed with the show Hot Ones on YouTube, and I found out that they actually make their own sauces and sell them at heatonist.com. And no, I'm not getting paid for the plug. I just think that they offer some really cool stuff, so you should check it out. So I went ahead and bought a set of 3 of their proprietary sauces. This one, number 2, number 5, and the last dab here, number 10, Apollo. And I have an assortment of other sauces that I got basically at the grocery store near me, and other stuff that I had in my fridge that I consider spicy. So I don't know anything about the Scoville units on any of these. I have tasted each of these just a little bit, just to get an idea of how I should rank them. And this is kind of the general ranking of spiciness. As far as my game rankings go, the 2 most important things to me that makes a really good game are that it is fun, first of all, and number 2, that it has longevity. So if I can pick it up right now and enjoy it right now, even if it's 20, 30 years old, then it's a really good game in my book. So knowing this, let's jump into our first wing, which is with tiger sauce. And it looks a lot more intimidating than it is. This is actually the sweetest of them all. And to give you an idea of how spicy it is, my 7-year-old daughter has really become attached to this sauce, and she really likes it. She's been eating it every day since I bought it. That's why the bottle is so low. I've only had this for like 3 days, so it's really not that spicy. So let's go ahead and jump in with number 1 right here, the tiger sauce. That's pretty sweet. And I have the drink fairy over here to my right, and she's also participating in the wing challenge. So she's eating all the exact same ones that I am. I also have my my little helpers here. I've got a glass of water, a glass of soy milk, and this is my secret weapon. I've watched a lot of Hot Ones, and I've seen kind of what works and what doesn't for people. And while a lot of the sauces, there's really nothing you can do about them, I feel like the sweetness and the coldness of whipped cream will really help. With that, number 10 on my top 10 games of all time is Elden Ring. Now, I know this might seem like kind of a surprising addition on a list of top 10 games of all time, considering that Elden Ring just came out about 5 weeks ago at the time of making this video. But it has made such an impact on me as a true culmination of all the great things within the genre. And that's action RPGs in general, not just Souls games. If you look at it through the lens of just Souls games, it's a distillation of all of the good things from previous From Software titles, with the backdrop of fantasy writer George R.R. Martin, the huge open world, all of the options as far as multiplayer and summoning spirits and having mounted combat. It's probably the best action RPG I've ever played. Now, the reason I put it at number 10 is because, first of all, I've put about 100 hours into the game so far, and I still haven't beaten it. So I can't quite put it higher up on the list if I haven't even beaten the game yet. But it's so good that it already deserves a place, even at the bottom. Moreover, the game did just come out, and so I'm not sure how it's going to be in terms of longevity 10, 20 years from now, if it's going to be a fun game. I have a feeling that it really is, even without all the multiplayer options, which really extend the life of these types of games. It's really amazing, and it deserves to be on my top 10 list. It just hasn't been tested yet, and I haven't beaten it. So, yeah, there we go. My next sauce is actually one of Hot One's proprietary ones. This is the classic hot sauce. This is the one that they use as number 1. And this one's actually really, really garlicky. This is the garlic Fresno edition of their normal one. Go ahead and pop that one in. There we go. And actually, you know what? The way I prepared these, they really don't have enough sauce on them. So I'm gonna be a cool guy and just add a little bit more on top. We'll see if that policy changes later. This one tastes really good, and it's very garlicky, like I said. All right, number 9, Stardew Valley. Now this game, much like Elden Ring, I feel like is the pinnacle of its genre. And so that being the sort of farm simulator, life simulator, dating simulator kind of games, where there's no real clear-cut goal per se. It's just making a more efficient farm, or meeting all of the villagers and talking with them. But like it's such a gorgeous game. It's such a great tribute to games like Harvest Moon and the 16-bit era. And there's so much to do outside of just the obvious. You've inherited your grandpa's farm, and so you've got to take care of it and get to know the villagers. And that's pretty much it. What you do after that is up to you. And there are so many options. There's fishing mini games. You can brew magical potions. You can participate in town events. There's also all kinds of secrets to uncover. There's a cave where you can go and actually fight enemies like a dungeon crawler to get new materials. It's got limitless possibilities. And as far as longevity and fun, it's got both in spades. And I can pick this game up at any time and get sucked into it so easily, and just get into that mindset of just one more day, and then I'll go to bed. Just one more day. And before I know it, it's 2 a.m. and I've ruined myself for the next day. It's on several different platforms as well, and honestly, it's perfect for what it tries to do. All right, next, sauce number 3 is Cajun Sunshine. And this is one I just picked up at the grocery store. I honestly, it's okay. It's pretty good. It's not too spicy, but it's more vinegary. It's that kind of typical Louisiana style hot sauce. This is a big nugget. All right, here we go. We can do more. Tasty. Again, still not that spicy, but we'll get there. Trust me. You guys are going to see me cry. Number 8, Ghost of Tsushima. Now, I made a review of this game a few months ago when I finished it, singing its praises as one of my favorites of all time. And it still is. I mean, it's in my top 10. And it's a fantastic game. It's got one of the most epic, heartfelt, sincere stories of any game I've ever played. Up there with the best TV shows and movies. It's got top tier acting and facial animations and cinematography. It's all so fantastic. And on top of the great story and the great execution of the story is the fluid sword gameplay. You really feel like a samurai / ninja with all the tools at your disposal. And it feels so good to take down a group all by yourself. The exploration of it is fantastic. It's such a beautiful world. There's mountains to explore, there's Shinto shrines, there's islands, and there's monkeys to pet, and there's so much going on about it. The reason I kept it at number 8 and not higher up on the list is because I did get the platinum and ended up doing everything there is in the game, and I didn't feel the need to really do any more. Now, there are still other options available. There's New Game Plus with additional costumes to get. There's some little side quests that are only available in New Game Plus. There's the online mode, Ghost of Tsushima Legends, which is fantastic. It's just like playing the game, but with your friends online. And you can customize your class and form a group that really shreds through the enemies. On top of a really cool kind of spooky story. Also, there's the really cool lethal mode where you take one hit from a sword and you die. So it's like an instant game over, which adds some realism to it if you're really into that kind of thing. So it's a fantastic experience. If you don't have a PS4 or PS5, I would say this game is worth getting one of those systems just to play this game. It is that good. All right, sauce number 4 is Texas Pete. And I don't know if this is like a national brand. I live in Oklahoma, so I see it in stores and all the time. Here we go. Texas Pete, bring in the heat. And it says on here it's like a medium. So it's got a little temperature, a little thermometer. It's medium degrees. Oh Jesus, it's got hot sauce everywhere. The only thing I don't like about it is the cap. You need a screw-on cap. The little, press cap makes the hot sauce fly everywhere, like in your face and on your microphone. Not too spicy, but a solid option. I think it's got a great flavor if you're into something not so masochistic. Okay, so that brings us to game number 7, Tetris, for the Game Boy specifically. Tetris is a ubiquitous title when it comes to games. It's on just about every system imaginable in some form, but I specifically really like the version on the original Nintendo Game Boy, which was probably one of the first video games I ever played. And I didn't find out until years and years later that it actually had a multiplayer mode. If you use a link cable to connect 2 Game Boys together, you could play Tetris against somebody else, a human, and it does this little thing where it's like one of you is Mario and the other is Luigi, and there's special animations that you only see in the multiplayer mode. And so I was shocked to find that out in like junior high, like 10 years after we got it. So it was a really cool surprise. But I mean, what else is there to say about Tetris? It's fun any day of the week. It's addictive. There's so many varieties of it, and honestly, it's not just nostalgia that keeps me coming back to Tetris. It's just that fun, and you can jump in and jump out in seconds. So, yeah, I highly recommend you play Tetris. All right, our next sauce is another one of Hot One's proprietary blends. This is the Hot One's Los Calientes, and it's got a real, I'll say, smoky quality to it. I think Dave Grohl on his episode said it smelled like BO.
Yeah. You know why I like this?
Please tell me.
It kind of tastes like BO.
And I'm kind of inclined to agree with him on that one. But it's a good BO, if there is such a thing. It's the BO you want to eat. Here we go. Yum, yum. I need more. So far, none of these have been too bad. This one's got a little bit of oomph behind it. Kind of sneaks up on you a little bit. Typically, the heat in this sauce, still coming. The heat in this sauce is about as far as I would typically like to take it, just with regular food. Wow. I'm gonna have to dig into the soy milk. It's a little extra, but it's very good. Again, I would love to use this on a marinade and stuff like that, but caliente. Number 6, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. I think this is probably on many people's best games of all time list. For me, it's simply because it is an icon. I mean, I got this day one when it came out, and I have probably bought Skyrim 5 or 6 different times for different systems. I mean, I had it on the Xbox 360, I got it for PC, I think I got it for the PS3 as well. I'm pretty sure I have it on the Nintendo Switch. It's everywhere, and it's such an iconic game, even with all of its flaws. I mean, it's kind of got that Bethesda charm where stuff just happens to go wrong, but not in a really frustrating way. It's more of a funny way. But the PC is obviously the best way to play this game, simply because it gives you far more options in terms of graphical quality and mods. There are just thousands and thousands of mods out there available to really change this game into something great. And it really keeps it fresh, 10 years after it came out. And I guess 11 years now. So it's an 11-year-old game, and I still love playing it. I'll pick it up and play it for a little bit here and there, and it's just so good. I mean, that's all there is to say about it. It's like an old friend. It's like a comfort game that you turn on to remember those times and the nostalgia, but it's still really fun. It's really fun to go around and shout at dragons and knock them over, or go into a cave and be a sneaky archer and, you know, just really dominate everything in the game with your powers. It's a game that makes you feel really powerful, but it's also got a really cool world and a really cool lore. And I really think that it will go down in history as one of the gaming greats. Not just on my list, but in general. Sauce number 6. It is a chili garlic sauce by the makers of... that last one's still biting me a little bit. By the makers of Sriracha. It's a chili garlic sauce. And I love this on just about everything. I'll mix this up with some mayonnaise to make some spicy mayo, or just whatever. It works really well, and it's kind of more of a paste. It's got the consistency more of salsa than I think of a hot sauce, but it works pretty well. So here we go. And it's got that trademark kind of sriracha flavor to it. That's good. I probably should have swapped these two, because I think this one's definitely hotter. But it's number 5 on their show on Hot Ones, so I figured I would leave it as number 5. But this one's really good. I highly recommend it for all your cooking. Number 5, Super Mario Kart. This to me is the best racing game ever made. A lot of the games on my list are kind of the culmination or the pinnacle of their genre. And this to me is the best racing game. And it's certainly the best Mario Kart. And I feel like the reason is the focus of Super Mario Kart was about the racing. And over time, it sort of evolved into more of a party game. I really enjoy the difficulty of Mario Kart, how the controls are a little bit hard to get used to after playing a contemporary Mario Kart. And it's more difficult, but it's much more satisfying to win a race because, you know, you didn't win it because you had a blue shell or a bullet bill or a lightning bolt or something. Even though there are lightning bolts, they're exceedingly rare. It's just a fun racing game. And again, it's one that I can pick up at any time and jump right in and enjoy it for an hour or two. And it has that timeless quality. Some people might say it looks like, you know, dog vomit, but to me, it's got that charm. And it looks good enough to do what it needs to do. You can play Grand Prix or you can play against other people. And it's just fun. It's just plain, pure gaming fun at its best. Number 7 is actually my personal favorite hot sauce, the Louisiana hot sauce. And you can tell it's my favorite because I have this giant bottle that's almost empty. You can see. I love this stuff because it's got just the right amount of heat and that kind of vinegary flavor without being too overwhelming. So here we go. Again, I think number 5 is probably spicier than number 7 because it sneaks up on you. I like Louisiana because it's really direct. You get that spiciness right away, and that doesn't sneak up on you like an assassin. Woo! I've got a little bit. I've got a little kick. Number 4, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on the Nintendo Switch. This game it's in the title. It's Ultimate. It is the ultimate fighting game. And I know a lot of fighting game purists will probably grouse at the idea of this being a actual fighting game, but to me, it is the best kind of fighting game because it is fun. It's not so serious. It's super fun right from the get-go, and you can pick it up and play it anytime. But for me, the thing that really sells it and makes it number 4 on my list of the greatest games of all time is the fact that you have so many options on how to play. You've got a traditional single-player campaign where you fight against progressively more difficult opponents. You've got a regular exhibition match mode, but within that exhibition match mode, you've got limitless possibilities. You can add certain kinds of items. You've got like 70 different levels to choose from, 70 to 80 different characters to choose from. You can put in custom rules, timers, kill counts. You've got CPU levels from 1 to 9. You can even play against your amiibos, which I've actually done several times on live streams. I've had amiibo tournaments and watched my amiibos fight each other. But World of Light to me is really the best part about the game. It's a single player campaign that's laid out like an open world RPG kind of, where you go down the paths and you fight different opponents, but they have certain spirits attached to them that give them different attributes, and so they act differently and fight differently as if they were characters from other Nintendo games. Not to mention online is really going to extend the longevity of this game for decades, because the online community is really, really intense and really into the game. But you can just sit through your game and watch online matches just over and over again. And you can even bet on them with like coins. And if you guess who's gonna win, you get like a little prize in coins and things like that. And it's just fun. Again, fun and longevity are the things that I asked for, and this has a ton of both. All right, we're getting down to it. So my 8th sauce isn't really a sauce at all. You've probably noticed already that this is not hot sauce. This is wasabi. Those of you who've had wasabi, you know, but it doesn't really attack your mouth as much as it attacks your nose. It's got a very aromatic spiciness that really gets into your sinuses and clears you out. So if I get a runny nose after this, that is why. And this nugget is humongous, and I am getting kind of full. So I'm going to take a portion of that off. And we're just going to sushify this. And I'm going to put, yeah, that's kind of a ludicrous amount of wasabi. Here we go. Itadakimasu. Oh! That's different. Here we go! From the nose! Oh, it's killing me. Oh, and that strong, strong flavor. Lord almighty. Oh. Forget Vic's Vapo Rub. Just shove some wasabi up your nose. You'll never get stopped up again. Oh. Wow. Oh God, still. There was some. Oh! There was some hiding in the creases, in the cracks of the nugget that I hadn't chewed up yet. It was lying in wait. Oh man, I got tears. Yeah, that belongs there. All right, wasabi chicken nugget. That's new. Okay, let's see if I can focus. Number 3, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Within the Legend of Zelda games, there are dozens, and this one has always stood out to me as the shining golden child of them all. It has gotten easier over the years as I've gotten older and, you know, learned to be better at games in general, but it's still so great. It's got such a great story and such a fantastic world with lots of variety, and it really feels like you're on an adventure. And while other games maybe have a grander scale like Ocarina of Time or Breath of the Wild, A Link to the Past really just kind of captures some kind of gaming innocence and purity that I feel is kind of lost in a lot of future games. I love it. It's just fun, and again, just like Skyrim, it's iconic. It's one of those games that we are blessed as gamers for having played it, and it's still fun to this day. I actually did a playthrough of it maybe about 2 years ago, and I had a blast. It was fun to revisit all those places and sort of remember all of the secret areas and things that I had forgotten about. And it's a great game to revisit, and I think it belongs in everybody's library. Here's where we're gonna get a little tricky. So number 9 is Tabasco, but it's a Tabasco Habanero. And this one I picked up at Walmart today, actually. And this was the hottest thing they had, so I figured I'd go for it. It had some peppers on the box, and it had 4 out of 5 peppers. So that tells me it's 80% spicy. I don't know. So I'm going to add a little bit more to this because it looks kind of bald. Oh, geez. So here we go. Sauce number 9, the Tabasco Habanero. I typically don't go for Tabasco just because it has a very unique flavor. I prefer Louisiana for its flavor. but it's got a decent spice. That one's not, it's not so bad. After the wasabi, it's kind of a walk in the park. I really think I should probably put the wasabi after the Tabasco. Woo, that's still hot. Number 2, Chrono Trigger. This game needs no introduction. It is number 1 on many, many people's top 10 lists or top 100 lists or greatest games of all time. I mean, it dominates these lists and has for decades. And there's a reason for that. It's so polished like a diamond. It shines. It's beautiful. It's got heart. It's got great characters. It's got fantastic graphics and animation. Not just for when it came out in 1995, but even now, it's a masterclass unto itself on how to do pixel art correctly. It's got fantastic gameplay, and it outshines all other games in its genre, like Final Fantasy VI, or other similar ones in the Dragon Quest world, simply because for me, I prefer a traditional RPG to not have random battles. And this one really did everything right in terms of the battles. You can see the enemies on the screen before the fight starts, so you can try to avoid them if you need to or if you want to. And I really like that kind of thing. But for me, the thing that really sets it apart is the music. It's so memorable. And ever since I played this game for the first time, I doubt a week has gone by in my whole life where I didn't get one of these songs stuck in my head randomly, or one just didn't pop up into my head for a little bit. And they're the most welcome earworms ever. And I'll sit and listen to this soundtrack all the time. And several different varieties from different people on YouTube, guitar varieties, piano varieties. It's beautiful, and it makes me nostalgic, but it's just good to listen to. But this game was really the culmination of the dream team of Japanese developers at the time. You've got the great minds behind Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest and Dragon Ball and the music that covers all of those things. You put them in a room, and this is what they came up with. And, the multiple endings, the different worlds, the different eras. It's all so beautiful. And I love this game because I love revisiting these places. And I think more than any of the other games, this is a game that has places that I would love to go to and see in real life. I know that's not possible, but that's why it's so nice to play the game, so that I can pretend like I'm there and living in that space. And it's just, it's timeless, ironically, being a game about time travel, but it's one of the greats. And if not for the next game, it certainly would have been number 1 on my list. Okay, here we go. I'm going to do the thing like Sean Evans does on Hot Ones. All right, Dad. Dramatically shake up the bottle for the last dab. Now, this stuff is not to be messed with, honestly. Like, I had just a tiny little taste the other day, and it just about wrecked me. And be warned, these Hot One sauces, they don't have the little plastic thing with the hole in the middle. Like, these just come out. Much like on Hot Ones, we're going to do the last dab. This one is called the last dab. And so I'll put a little dab on for you. I don't want to chicken out. Oh, there you go. An extra dab for you. And here we go. An extra dab for me. Oh my gosh, this is terrifying. So here we go. I hope this will have been worth it. Oh, there it is. There it is. That's a slow, steady burn. It's just rising. It's just going higher and higher. Can you take me higher? Oh! Gotta embrace it. Come on! Oh no, I got. Ah, boy, people are right. That doesn't even help. Nothing helped. Oh my gosh. Let's can I get some more of that soy milk? Oh gosh. No water. Water is a bad idea. Oh, it's still coming. It's still going up. I recommend soy milk. Okay, we're gonna go through number one. Number one, the greatest game of all time, according to James from James Loves Games, is Castlevania Symphony of the Night. This game has it all. It's got the great fun gameplay. I can pick it up anytime. Oh, this is torture. I can pick it up anytime. And it's fun. It's got a massive area in the game. This castle to explore. I mean, it's the Vania in Metroidvania. All the games that came after it have tried to emulate this and failed miserably. Hollow Knight comes close, but we wouldn't have Hollow Knight if we didn't have Symphony of the Night. But fantastic music, much like Chrono Trigger. I listen to this soundtrack all the time. I even mail ordered, back before the days of the internet, I mail ordered the game soundtrack on CD from Japan, and it cost me a small fortune as a high schooler, but it was totally worth it. My tongue feels like a cactus. It's got fantastic bosses, great graphics, wonderful music, all kinds of cool environments, really cheesy dialogue that's so silly and memorable and campy, and I love it. Oh my gosh, this is horrible. This is the one that really... these are all nothing compared to this. This is death. This is death in a bottle. Back to the game! The best part about it is, you beat the game, you think you're done, but come to find out, you hear from a friend at your high school that there's actually a secret thing that you can do. There's an item you can get that opens a secret room that transports you to an upside down version of the entire castle with completely new enemies. It doubles the size of the game and it's totally missable. And it makes it the best secret twist in gaming to this day, as far as I'm concerned. So this game is timeless and unbeatable. You can give it to me right now at any point within the game and I will play it for at least an hour. It's just that good. I love it. I'm gonna go stick my head in a bucket of milk. Thank you so much for watching this. Let me know what you thought of my list. Put your own list in the comments. And I will see you next time right here on... I hope this was worth it!